Hey, everybody. Welcome one more time to Carmela's Wrestling Radio Relived. Here's my beautiful girl, Jeannie. How you
Uh,
feeling?
a lot better. A lot better. Better than
Good.
yesterday, but yeah. Yeah.
We were worried about you. I just want to let you know because I was,
Honestly, I wasn't worried until I woke up uh Christmas Eve or like around midnight and was just so sick, and
ugh,
it was just, yeah, I was worried, nervous, and because of all that they went, instead of just going in, getting the stone removed and getting sent home like last time,
yeah,
they actually admitted me for 24-hour observation.
poor baby. Well,
So, but
hopefully,
yeah.
this is the last time and you won't have these
Oh,
issues anymore.
please, from your lips to God's ears. It was my 11th stone. I'm over it.
I
And the
know. I
third
bet you
one that I
are.
couldn't pass. So, yeah,
Oh God, that's got to be awful.
it
They
is.
say that kidney stones are the closest thing to labor
Labor.
that they can describe. Yeah, so that I know that had to hurt.
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to let you know I'm not going to stand up, but I have an Obafemi shirt on. Can you see
Okay.
it? It's
Yeah.
one of my Christmas presents. I got Obafemi and Will Ospreay shirts. I can't imagine why, but
So
so I'm all
random.
excited. Yeah, just random, like out of the clear blue sky. Like you might think I like these guys or something,
I know.
But we have a special guest today, and I didn't put it on
Yes.
Facebook because I didn't want to ruin it. We have a very special guest. This man, who just told me that I spelled his name wrong, and I feel bad about that. I have to fix it. But this man is a huge 1000% reason that this podcast is on its 42nd week. Okay. Um, God bless him. He's welcome here anytime. It's
Yes.
been a little while and we miss him,
We
but let's
do.
bring him on right now so we can fill each other in on everything that's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Trammel.
Hey, hey, ladies.
Yay.
How are
Thank
you?
you, thank you, thank you, thank
All
you.
right,
I'm fantastic.
am I moving you?
It's been. You can if you want to.
All right, let me put you up here again. How's that?
There
Okay.
we go. That's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I'm
No
doing
problem.
fantastic. I'm so proud of y'all.
Thank
We started
you.
this podcast, and then I let the birds go, and I let them fly by themselves, and I didn't know because you had, I thought that I had led y'all well. But I want to tell you what the accomplishment y'all have made. Number one, now tell me if I'm wrong or right. Y'all haven't missed a week, have you?
No.
Nope, not
Wow.
together. Not together. Jeannie missed a week because she was really
Yeah, but
sick.
I'm talking
But
about
yeah, no.
we have
Mm-mm.
you put out an episode every week, 42 weeks as of today. Just crazy because most podcasts they get to about 12 episodes and then they disappear. So I was excited about getting over the hump, and then every week and don't be offended when I tell you this. I don't listen to wrestling podcasts.
Oh,
Uh,
don't. I don't either.
I
I don't.
hardly
It's
ever listen
terrible.
to it because I don't want my. It's weird because when you're in the middle of it and you're doing it all, you don't want to hear somebody else say something, and you want your own opinion out there. Uh, and everyone influences you when you hear stuff. So I
Yeah.
don't listen to a lot, but I listen. But every week I always look for it to pop up on my feed, and I've sent you something every once in a while. The audio's not here, and you'll say, "Give me a sec," and you'll do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I'm
Uh,
learning. I'm learning.
yeah, yeah, and it just, I mean, every week I'm just like, oh, well, they hit 30, and then y'all hit 40, and I was like, y'all hit 40, and I was like, it's just, it's a labor of love, as y'all know, because you're just putting it out every week, but it also gave you something. You told me you needed something, and I think it's gave y'all both something to do wrestling wise, and you was in the business so long. This is your, I don't know, second or third live in the wrestling business, so it's pretty cool.
I'll tell you, I am so happy. I was telling Jeannie, I want to wait until we hit 52 weeks, and then I am actually going to start trying to get sponsors. Okay. I wanted to be able to say we did 52 weeks. I wanted to be able to say We're still here. You know what I mean? So God willing, we're going to be able to do this, and I'm going to reach out to a lot of people in Philadelphia and to everybody here who's listening. If you want to advertise on our show, you know, an email, 316carmela@gmail.com. Um, hold on one. Um, we were talking about what we're doing with the podcast and everything, and you know, I want to reach out and see about getting some sponsors at this point. But it's funny. All this time, I kept saying to Jeannie, I don't want to interrupt the podcast by saying so and so has this, business that they want to advertise, and but you have to, you really do. You have to. I want to ultimately try to make this a living because I love it so much. I really do. And unfortunately, in order to do that, that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
But anyway, you have to get a sponsorship. I don't make a living, but we have sponsors that we've had for. I didn't start making money until 3 years, maying 3 years
Mhm.
into it, maybe
Right.
I have to go back and look. But in this 7th year that we've been doing it, it really, like the last 2 years, the 6th and 7th year, you know, and it's not a lot. I'm going to say some numbers, and it is a lot, but it's not a lot compared to real big podcasts. Joe Rogan and people like that get so many people. But when you start talking in millions instead of thousands and hundreds, then the sponsors come to you.
Right. Right.
And it has
Exactly.
helped. Yeah, it's helped us a lot to be able.
Yeah.
And I gotta. Here's the cool thing, and you can always pitch this to your podcast advertisers. The cool thing about podcast advertising is you get new fans. All right. So you get these, I hate calling fans, new listeners. How's that? We get new listeners and they start going through the archives. So they'll go through your 42 or whatever, 142, say. Well, those commercials are on there no matter what. We don't take the commercials off. So if they
Right.
pay for a year of advertising, they're going to be there for during the whole year plus in the whole history. The
Hmm.
funny thing, and I know this is going to sound morbid to y'all, but I have already set up what's going to happen to my archives if I pass away. So, or when I pass away, not if I pass away,
Right.
when I
Right.
pass away, so that they're still up there and that they're still being paid for to store them up there. So podcasting is there's so many damn people doing this that if
Yeah.
you got somebody listening, it just makes your heart explode because you get notes. I get notes all the time from people that say, wow, I love that. And just to know that you see the numbers, but the actual
Yeah.
communication and engagement is something different.
It's
Uh,
great.
yeah, I have, there's a guy by the name of Braino Lasto is what he does on Twitter. And he listens to y'all and listens to me. Ed listens to y'all. Um,
Okay. Wait a minute. Let me interrupt you, Ed. That's what I wanted to say. He's going to be a guest, a fan guest for us after the new
awesome.
year. Yeah.
You will love Ed. He's awesome. He actually made an appearance for the we had this little thing going where we kept telling him, "Hey, we're gonna have you on," but we never would. We never would do it, and it lasted
Oh,
almost 7 years. But he's awesome. Ed is
I love
awesome,
him. I love him. I really do.
real
He's
good
a
listener.
really
He
good listener, good person.
reviews it every time. He
Yeah.
reviews lets us know what we did wrong and
Hmm.
did right, and
Which
then
I think it's great. I have no problem getting the criticism. Um, but anyway, let's talk wrestling. Before we talk wrestling, I asked you in the beginning to please say hello to somebody.
oh, hello, Debbie. How are you? I'm back
She,
at least for one show. So there we go.
well,
Hey, Debbie.
I'll tell you, Debbie absolutely loves you. And if we had a podcast and I didn't ask you to please say hello to her, there'd be no living with her. She'd kill me. Okay.
There you go.
But
There you go.
okay, listen. Now that I know for a fact that Will Ospreay does podcasts because I saw him on one, it started my wheels rolling. You know, So I reached out to about 50 people so far. I will, and I'm doing. Danielle and I are doing this thing, starting 2025, where we are going to manifest, and we are manifesting that I'm having Will Osprey on my podcast. Period. No ifs, no ands, no buts. He's going to do it, and he's going to be awesome. Okay. And like I said, I'm going to just keep reaching out, keep doing it, keep doing it. Sooner or later, he's either going to do it because he likes it or because he's annoyed that I don't leave him alone. I'll take either one. It doesn't matter. But I wanted to talk a little bit about Ric Flair. Um, he's going through some stuff right now. Brian, I don't know if you've heard anything yet, but he's going through he's got a lot of issues right now. He pointed out somebody by name, and I'm not going to mention all the names and everything, but that this person owes him money and blah blah blah. And in the same token, it came back that Ric Flair, and I know this can be true. I mean, he's never done it to us, but it can be true that
It
he
is
is.
true, by the way. It is true. I know what you're talking about, but yes,
Mhm,
on ROH he owes them money. So,
yeah,
and has owed it forever. It's not a rumor. It's been confirmed, and the people that worked during that time will tell you that's what happened. Um, and
but what
so
about the no shows that Flair does? What about the money Flair owes people? What
that's what I'm
about his?
talking. No, no, no.
Oh,
That's
okay,
what I'm
I
talking
thought
about.
you
I'm
meant
not talking
okay.
about who owes Flair
Yeah,
money. I'm talking about the money that he owes.
yeah,
ROH. I think he was. I don't know the details, but just say he was contracted for 3 appearances, didn't appear, took the money, see you later, and never has attempted to pay back the debt. And it's just one of those things. I remember we was trying to get some debt done. Me and the wife was, and listening to some guy helping us, on the radio kind of thing
hmm,
every night. And he said something that just resonated with me and Dad is that, and I'm not a religious person, but he says it's a Christian thing to do to pay off your debt. And I never thought of that. I never thought, hey, you got to get out of debt somehow. But it's not
yeah,
a good thing. And you got to look at it like this. He was contracted to do something, and he didn't do it. He should give the money back.
exactly.
That's the way I feel about it. I mean, even if it was a deposit, sometimes they work in deposits. I know one of the classic Memphis guys. He will come to your show, but he always, a lot of times, he will ask, for you to send a deposit and double the money. So say said 250. When I get there, you'll give me 250. But he usually asks for 500 as a deposit. So when he gets there, he goes, "No, you don't owe me nothing. You don't owe me nothing." So it makes it look good on his part. But
Yeah,
there's been so many people conned by the promoters, by people that you got to get your money. You really do.
yeah.
At
Well,
least half of it. Yeah.
here's the thing too, where I know when we worked with Bruno, and I know for a fact with other people as well, he had gotten to the point where he had gotten screwed over so much that anytime he did an appearance, anytime he did anything like that, he wanted the money wired to him prior to the event. And then if something happened and he didn't make it to the event or the event was canceled or whatever, being an honorable man that he always was, he would give you the money back. And that's the way it should be. But Flair has a terrible reputation as far as money goes. Unfortunately, between being married 5 times and not being an honorable man, he's got a lot of issues with owing people money.
Oh, it
Um,
is. I mean, you said a mouthful 5 times. I was married one time. I was married one time before my current wife, and it put me in horrible debt. So one
mhm.
ex-wife was enough for me. And,
Well,
and
it's funny.
that I'm serious. It's one of those
Yeah,
things. And I don't have any. Uh, Ric Flair fan as a wrestler and watching him when I was growing up. May not really be too much of a Ric Flair a fan of the person. And then there's a lot of guys in the business I met, they're just total assholes, but
yeah,
they don't really change my fandom of them, because I really, I don't care if you don't want to talk to me. I don't care if you don't, you want to be an ass to everybody. I really don't care. I mean, if I want to be a fan of yours, I'm like that with music too. I heard people tell, Undertaker and somebody else, Kane, I don't want to get political, but they endorsed Donald Trump, and I heard a lot of people say, "Well, I hate them now," and I'm like, uh, they can do what they want to do. I don't care, I'm a fan of the business, and there's a few guys that maybe I don't even know anyone. I mean, take it for instance, Jerry Lawler. Me and him had a spat of and I even had the podcast of it. We finally found it, and it's up on the main feed there.
Right.
But I've always been a fan of his, no matter what.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like I've had, again, you hear these stories about wrestlers like Ivan Putski, for one. I've heard anyway, multiple stories about what an ass he could be, and
Janie,
how
come on
he,
now. You got to say something here when she starts talking about Ivan, because there's no way in hell she can be unbiased on this part. Uh, so come
Well,
on
what
now,
she's
come
saying
on.
is true. I personally never had an issue with him or anything like that. But yeah, a lot of the other wrestlers and fans and whatever, they were like, he is such a jerk.
yeah.
He is a jerk.
Well, and the same thing,
Okay.
he was never like that with me. And
Right.
honest to God, never like that with me. But I've seen him, I saw him be an idiot to a lot of people, and he was very, very well known for his bad reputation in multiple areas. And I saw him be an ass to other people. But like you said, Brian, it didn't change. Well, of course, I knew him on a different level, of course, but it didn't change how I felt about him. Had he done it to me, that would have changed
It
a
is.
lot.
It's one of those things. I've always
Mhm.
been that way. I remember having a friend of mine who, I knew he was a total bullshitter. Almost nothing came out of his mouth that was true. And everybody's like, "Oh, I can't believe you were friends with that liar." And I'm like, he would do anything for me. It's not,
Yeah.
it's just, he was such a kind guy. He's the guy that you call if you're on the side of the road and you're having car trouble, and he comes and gets you no matter what.
Hmm.
And has done it a couple times for me. But you have to look at it that way. I just try not to have heat with anyone, and if they dislike me and my podcast and what we do, I just uh, go listen to somebody
Right. There's
else.
nothing you can
There's
do. You know
so
what I
many,
mean?
Yeah.
please.
Right.
Yes, yes, yes.
Right. There's nothing you can do. But like I said, it resonates with me. Like you said, it doesn't change your opinion of them as a person. We've had people screw us over when we were together doing wrestling. Um, and I was just going to say something about something that happened. Um, but I wanted to ask you a question, and I'll think of that. When I think of that, it'll come back to me, and then I'll say it. Um, what would it take for you to come here into this area, Brian? What
I
would
need a sponsor. So I'm all excited about the big show y'all got coming up. So if anyone's watching this, PM me, DM me, whatever you want to call it, email me. I've looked at the flight cost and the cost of having a table at the con. And the total amount is a little bit more than I want to pay to go to a con.
right,
But
right.
if there's any corporate sponsors, people that want their product out there, send me to that show and you'll get a couple of years of
Oh
advertising.
my
And
God, that would be amazing if you
I
could
would.
be
I
there.
have
Yeah.
looked. I was going to surprise y'all and tell y'all I was coming, but after I looked at the cost of flights and everything, I was like, there's a couple of things I want to do in your area. I'm a big Kevin Smith fan. I want to see. I want to go to there and see him. And then there's another fandom of that I like. And then I have a friend that's in New Jersey, and we had talked about getting a table and then um, having her and her husband come to the con, and she could sit with me because she's on one of my shows sometimes.
Hmm.
But the cost was just crazy. It's crazy to fly. Even booking your flight way ahead. It's just, but we're going to look into some. I'm not going to say no yet, But yeah, I was excited about this because I mean, you got a lot of people that you know, from the Memphis trip, from the Memphis trips that I met, and I never went there. Y'all always came here, so.
Hmm. Well, I think it might be worth it in the long run because so many people now know who you are. You know, so many people have been uh, blessed, I'm going to say, by your, knowledge and your speeches and the fact that you've been on our podcast so many times, which I love. Okay. And again, like I said, if it wasn't for you, I mean, you can have an idea all you want, but if it wasn't for you helping us put it together, uh, you know, Jeannie, why don't tell Brian some of the stuff that he's going to miss if he doesn't come here for that show.
Oh my God.
It's all you, Jeannie.
May 3rd, 2025. And from 12 to 3, it's the WrestleCon.
And is this on Friday or this is Saturday, right?
Saturday.
All
Okay,
Saturday,
yeah.
yep.
It's all Saturday. From 12 to 3 is the WrestleCon. All TWA stars will be there, plus other special guests, including Bill Apter, Sabu,
Tony Atlas.
Tony Atlas.
Are y'all
Baby
gonna
Doll.
be there? Are y'all gonna be there with a table?
We're going to be there, yes.
Okay, all right.
And then at 6:30, the doors open for the actual one and done show. And also for the during the show, there'll be the raising and then lowering of the banner. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we get enough signatures. And then the show, and then there's an after party afterwards where
now the show's not going to last after 9:00, is it? Because my bedtime's 9:00.
Oh, it'll
be
after.
after.
Come on, Brian.
Yeah. Doors open at 6:30. I think the show's bell time is at 7. So yeah, I'm sure it'll be
excited.
8 matches.
I have a friend that does he does a retro podcast, a USWA retro podcast, and he does Tommy Rich and Doug Gilbert's podcast, and they're going to be there.
Yeah,
they're wanting him to come, and me and him have been friends forever. So we could do the the hotel thing, but I would have to come in for Friday and spend the whole day or Thursday night so I could get the other New Jersey stuff done that I want done.
Well, you know what, Brian? I'm going to be honest with you. Okay. I like I said, I honestly think it would be worth you coming in the long run. I mean, and besides that, maybe we can work it out where I can make you a dinner.
Oh, yes. Well, yeah.
I always try to bribe everybody with that.
Well, I was really excited about everything, and I did two cons last year. It just helps. It just helps so much, and I call it glad handing is what I call it. It's grassroots glad. You're just putting that business card in people's hand, in their hands, and telling them what you do. Hey, we do. I do the podcast for the brand new Memphis Wrestling. Check us out. It's on the back, and then we do other podcasts. So here we go. By the way, tomorrow, episode 901. It's episode 201 of the Memphis Review podcast. So they just celebrated 200 episodes, which makes them the second longest Memphis wrestling behind the original, which went over 1,000 episodes. But yeah, congratulations to them. Congratulations. It was an accomplishment. And the funny thing is, after you do so many episodes, you can't remember everything. It's like I was going for flashback today because I always put a flashback clip, and I was like, I don't remember doing this episode. There's no way I'm on this episode, but yeah, I was. So.
Well, it's funny. Every week that when I put up what episode it is, I have to go back. I sometimes I remember and sometimes I don't. But I can't believe it's already at 42. I mean, it seems like it was yesterday that we started doing this. And I know I've said this before, but my mom used to always tell me the years go by quickly, even though the days drag. and I can't believe that we're on 42 weeks already. And I think we only had one time, Jeannie, right, when we had two shows.
Yeah, there was
two
one.
podcasts.
Yeah, I think there was 1 week where we had two in 1
Because
week.
we had the Mr. McMahon one.
Right.
Yeah, so that was wonderful. We had a lot of listeners for that one as well. Okay, so also besides the one and done and all that other stuff that's coming up, there's going to be a lot of wrestlers. I mean, like a lot of people, old and new. And not only that, but if I'm not mistaken, this is the last match for three individuals. Three.
Oh wow.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Yep.
kind of four maybe. Because one's a
All right.
tag
We'll
team.
get to four in a second. First of all, it's going to be Breaker Morant. He's going to go against Chris Wilde for the championship, and that is his final match. Breaker Morant. Tony Stetson is going to go against Mike Bruno, and that is Tony Stetson's final match. Also, the Rock and Roll Express have said that this will be the Rock and Roll Express's final match as well.
Well, they're retiring in 2025. I don't really know if that match will be the final match, but they're going to be retired in 2025.
Okay, because I thought, unless he meant in this area then, because
yeah, maybe in
that
this
was
area.
what I read. Yeah. And what's I'm thinking of the fourth one, and I know you're right.
Well, no, because you said Rock and Roll Express. There's Ricky and Robert. So there's
Ricky and Robert. Okay, that's fine. I thought there was somebody I missed. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of firsts, a lot of lasts. You know, there's going to be a 10-bell salute for the multiple wrestlers that have passed, that have worked for Joel in the TWA, and Joel and myself and Paul when we had our promotion. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he said that there was like in the 40s of people that have passed away.
Wow.
That are going to be
that seems unreal there.
Yeah, but it's true. And between the two of us, the two promotions, it's like crazy. So that's going to be done. And we're up to, according to Bay, I didn't talk to him about the numbers yet. According to Bay, last time we had him on here, I think we needed like 270, Jeannie, right?
Something like
signatures.
That, yeah.
So we're almost up to 1,000 signatures. Okay. So we're asking you, please just go out and get a friend, you know, just sign the petition. Just sign it. It doesn't take long. Brian, have you signed it?
I have.
Good. Maybe you can get. How about Ed? Let's ask Ed. Ed, have you signed it? If not,
there you go.
On. Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to talk a little bit too about AEW. Now it's funny. A lot of people are saying that when they show like house shows, they're showing AEW, the arenas are empty or close to empty. But yet when you see them on their TV, their Dynamite, their Collision, they show pretty much the whole arena, and to me they look pretty packed.
Okay, here's the deal. They were in big arenas. They were not, and where you put the camera all means what part of the crowd you see. And at that point, they were putting everybody from the crowd facing the camera. Now they're in smaller buildings, and they are selling tickets, but they're not anywhere near to what they were doing earlier this year. The ratings are, I hate to say this, but I predict they'll be under 500 in April. WrestleMania season, they're going lower. The product, I used to be a huge fan. I was there for All In. Is it All In?
Yeah.
The first one? Yeah.
There's I was there all in and all out. Yeah.
I was there for the first show, All In. It felt very, very special. It was a huge deal to watch independent wrestling become a big deal. But we've learned with this experiment, if you will, that style of wrestling and the independent style of wrestling, even though they got a big contract because they won't live, they're continuously losing. I think they lost 25% of their audience this year. They're losing fans, and it's all because it's just like, what's your favorite pizza, Carm?
Pepperoni.
You don't want to eat pepperoni every day, do you?
No,
So that's the
no.
problem. That style is we went wow when we first saw, and I'm not putting Osprey's one of my favorite, but we went wow when Osprey Ricochet had a match years ago. Everybody talked about that match. Now they're on Collision. They had 300,000 people watching it instead of a gazillion. And it just don't mean anything when you constantly do the same style. The storylines are just, I can't follow them. I quit watching, and we just had this discussion, and it will be airing at 10 o'clock a.m. On my feed. We just talked about the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame, and we were talking about AEW, and I had text my buddy Lance, and the guy that does the podcast with me, and I said, I'm done with Collision because they just got rid of Punk. That was Punk's show. I said, I'll quit watching it. And then I said, I wonder how many other people have quit watching. And then as I quit watching AEW altogether, Lance is like, what made you stop? And I said, well, it started with Punk. And then there's so much like drinking of blood and stuff. I mean, I like hardcore, but some of that stuff's just, it don't offend me. It's just not my style of wrestling. And I'm of the belief that, and I said this early on with AEW, and it's when I was a huge fan doing podcasts about it, that style is not something that can be mainstream when you're sticking needles in people's faces, bags over their heads. As much as we love DCW, how far did they really get? And you got to
No.
think about that. You got to think
You're
about
right.
that. And I really think it is a niche audience that there'll be that no matter what, there's going to be at least in Alvarez said this, Brian Alvarez, 400,000. I don't think they'll ever go under 400,000 of those people that like that style. GCW is doing good business in the States and Japan. They don't do TV or anything, but they have that similar style. And there's only so many people that really, not that the shows aren't good, but I have to have a story. Working with Memphis Wrestling uh, for the last almost 3 years, I was taught something. In the wrestling business, you never quit learning. You know that, Carm. You
Oh
can't
God,
say,
yeah.
yeah, you can't say
Absolutely.
I know everything.
No,
And
never.
even to this, I went to the big con with all the old Memphis guys and just sit and listen. You just listen when people are talking. I spent most of my time with Downtown Bruno, who said 1,000 things. You just learn things. I can't remember. Oh, you stop learning. So I was a work rate guy. I was a Meltzer guy for years. If it's not a great match, it doesn't mean, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And I have learned something so valuable in my wrestling watching. It's about the story
Mm-hmm.
that attracts me. Uh, it's really not the work rate. It's the end result of the match. Now we want the wrestlers to be able to perform, but it's the story and the end of the match. In Memphis Wrestling, I don't know if they've had 10 matches go over 12 minutes. It was all about the build, all about the story, all about the end of the match where we go there.
Right.
And I've enjoyed wrestling a lot more without saying, that's a 5-star match. That's just, I just have enjoyed it because I'm watching. And the WWE right now is, my buddy Lance said he thought that the WWE got hot because AEW got cold, and I don't know. I think WWE was going to be hot no matter what, but they're so hot now because of the storylines. And I watch WWE and I watch Memphis Wrestling, and that's it.
Well, the one thing I will say is that I just saw a thing on I don't know if it was X, Twitter, whatever, Facebook, where there was a match. I guess maybe it was Monday on Raw. I don't know. But Punk came out in a towel.
And it was Madison Square Garden. They did. Yeah.
And it was just like, what the hell?
Yeah, that was stupid.
Don't you remember that? They used to do that on every wrestling show. He did that. Yeah, they used to come out. They were back in the dressing room. They made the save, and he was in the towel. Yeah, it was Madison Square Garden. Was it last night or the night before? Yeah.
Yeah, it was. But now, see, this will be my take on it. WWE to me, okay, I've always loved WWE. I will continue to. But WWE, they're at the point now where their storylines are so long, okay? They have 19,000 matches about the same storyline. Like now they're doing this tribal chief stuff, all right? They were talking about there was supposed to be a championship for the tribal chief. Why would you have a championship for the tribal chief? That's ridiculous. So
It's
now
a
they're going to.
match. It's not a championship.
Oh, we lost
Oh,
Brian. All right, well, he'll be back. But no, it is a match, okay? But now they're going to fight about the Ula Fala, the thing that they wear, okay? That's what
yeah,
they're fighting about. But the tribal chief history has been going on for like I think going on 3 years already. You know, it's like
right.
this constant, and then The Rock will be back, and then The Rock wants to do all his people, and then this, and then that, and it's like it's killing you. They're killing you with a long story. All right, the thing that happened with Punk, yes, it's a repeat. Okay, all right, there we go, Brian. No, there is. They do want to have a match where there is a tribal chief championship. Okay, and I was just saying that, but now they're fighting over the necklace. Okay, but like I was telling Jeannie, it's like it seems like it's 10 years of the same story. Like it never stops.
I love
And
it. I absolutely love it. I love long
but
term booking. I love the story. I think, and I'm not the. I mean, look at the gates. Look at the people watching. Look at the contract.
you're right.
WWE is and I hate it sometimes that I wasn't the biggest WWE fan back in the day because I was a work rate guy and you wasn't supposed to like Hulk Hogan. You were supposed to like Ric Flair and I was a huge Hogan fan, a huge Dusty Rhodes fan, but started not liking them because they weren't good wrestlers or whatever. I love everything
Yeah.
WWE's. I can't even criticize anything. So love the New
Well,
Day thing they did.
I
Love Dom. Love
I love the stuff with Dom, but see, here's the comparison though. Like you brought up Dom. Now here's the thing. Dom has his moments. It's about Dom, then it's not. Then it's about Finn Balor. It's about the rest of the Judgment Day. Then it's about Damian Priest. Then it's back to Dom. Dom's pushing, they're pushing him. But this tribal chief stuff, it just never ends. It's always the same stuff. And I understand what you're saying. I'm just over it. That's just my opinion. Now, going back to AEW, okay? AEW, what they do is they don't, like you said, they don't have a full story, but their story breaks up too much. Like now, let's talk about Osprey, of course. Him and Kyle Fletcher had this thing where Kyle turned on him, and blah blah blah, and then all of a sudden, Osprey lost to Kyle, and all of a sudden it doesn't matter anymore. It's all done. Osprey's off to something else. Kyle Fletcher's off to something else. Now, this past week on Dynamite, Osprey comes back in the ring. He confronts Kyle Fletcher again, and now they're going to have a match going back to that again. They had such a huge buildup where, like, Osprey was talking about his girlfriend saying, he knows where we live. What are you going to do about it? I'm scared. And then all of a sudden, it's over. But now it's starting up again. That's what I don't like. Okay.
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir, my friend.
Yeah.
Because I really I have honestly I watch every once in a while. I watch. I've kept an ear to the ratings for just not the demographic or any of that mess, just the total number because I want to see are we ever going to go back up? And it was over a month before everyone was talking about that horrible angle on AEW before I found out somebody used a hypodermic needle. That's how out of the loop I am when it comes to the actual angles and stuff. I'm a huge Bryan Danielson fan, huge Osprey, Ricochet, Okada, kind of a Young Bucks. I always liked watching it. Here's a list of all the guys I'm a huge fan of that I can't even. I won't turn the show on to even watch them. So,
Well, here's the thing, though, okay, and I agree with you, but here's the thing. I don't understand. They have some incredible, incredible talent. They really do. Kyle Fletcher is an incredible athlete. Ricochet is an incredible athlete. Osprey is an incredible athlete.
Great roster. Great roster.
Oh, they do, but they don't do anything with them. That's the thing. Now, when Osprey's not here, he's still going to Japan full time. Okay, going back and forth. Take a story and go with it. I'd love to know who is their booker. Like, who is their main booker?
Tony Khan is the main booker, so he's doing that, and then he has people that help him. But Khan is, we've said this on our podcast. They need somebody that knows how to run a wrestling business,
right?
And
he's not a good booker. He's
an old time wrestling observer, fanboy who thinks that style of wrestling is going to work. It's just not going to do it unless you got a storyline.
And that's the thing. He's like this young kid, who's saying, well, yeah, I got, family money here. My daddy said I can do whatever I want with it. But he's, again, and I keep bringing this up, and everybody's going to hate me for bringing it up, but he's a fan. He's a promoter who's a fan. He's a booker who's a fan. You've got to be able, and you know that, Brian, as well as I do. Jeannie, you know it. You've got to be able to separate that. You've got to be able to do the business part like a business person, okay? A businessman or a businesswoman. I'm a huge wrestling fan. But when it comes to promotion and booking, okay, you got to put all that aside. And you've got to do what's best for the other real fans that are out there, as well as you, who you're trying to impress. You're trying to get them on your side. You know what I'm saying? So
the thing about it is there's so many, and you expect it. There's so many mistakes being made because you have a guy who lets everyone do what they want to do. Everybody that leaves AEW, go look them up. Listen to what they say. There's no control. Yeah. There's a bunch of, what do they say? A bunch of cooks in the kitchen. And there's no absolutely control over what's going on. The thing with CM Punk just kind of let everyone behind the scenes. You know what book I want?
What?
And I hope I live to read this book, is what was going on during all this stuff backstage during AEW. Why did Cody Rhodes really leave? Because there's something there that never has been revealed. Mm-hmm. It's things that the things that we hear about. And even Dave Meltzer is so involved with the AEW that I want to know how much he really is involved. There's somebody going to write one of those books, and it'll be something that we can actually dive into. There's the death of WCW book is one of those that has a lot of stuff in it that you go, what were they thinking, kind of thing.
Well, you know what? And I believe that AEW doesn't have to die. I really do believe
I hope they don't. I'm just telling you, because
I don't want them
look
to
how
die.
many people are making money. Look at all the boys that are making money. It's awesome.
See, and I'm going to try and get Dave Meltzer on my podcast too. That may never happen. I don't know if he does podcasts. I think he does. But I want to talk to him about a lot of stuff. I want to talk to other podcasters about what they are bringing to the table and where they're getting their knowledge and their opinions. I mean, everybody's got an opinion, but if you're going to be a podcaster, you've got to know what the hell you're talking about. You've got to know, where from where you get your information.
My only advice is I quit trying to get guests. I really did, because they never show up or blah blah blah, and I didn't do a lot of guests. My podcast started out shooting the Shiznet, and it was me and somebody else. We still do it. We do a lot of episodes of that in May. Every once in a while, I see somebody I want to talk to, and I'll bring them on. My best advice to you, push you two ladies. Y'all talk as much as y'all can talk. 1 hour a week. It's about y'all. And then if somebody, and you'll see there'll be people coming to you to be on the podcast and not the other way around.
So. I really do. Well, when we started to do the fan thing, where the fans could be part of the show, the ones who were on already have actually approached us and said that they'd like to come back. Dave Katz is going to come back. Jamie
I
Ward is
enjoyed
going
it.
to
I
come back.
enjoyed Dave. I did listen to him. I listened to the
Yeah.
fan because Dave was a name. I don't know if I want to say I've met Dave, but my memory's so horrible, y'all. I don't know if I have, but that name was in the Observer all the time, and it was
Yeah.
all over the place. So yeah,
I think he's friends or is or was friends with Meltzer as well.
yeah, yeah.
But I mean, but when you're talking about a fan like Dave or Jamie or you know, Richard Schwartz, like these people have been fans forever.
And
Okay.
me and Jamie's been friends ever since y'all came down here, and we play fantasy football together. So me
Do
and
you
Jamie's been
really? That's great.
we talk. Yeah, he's actually in our fantasy bowl for my league. So uh, Jamie's a good guy. He does his own podcast stuff. I really like Jamie. He's always been he's an Eagles fan though, just like Jeannie, and so
Yes.
I really don't like y'all. But you're in my division. I
It's a
can't like
Philly
it.
thing. It's a Philly
I'm a
thing.
Cowboys fan, so you can't I can't like the Eagles, but
You're a cow shit fan?
I've
That
been a fan
is.
since 1978, and this is one of the worst effing seasons we've ever had.
Oh
We
my
look
God.
god awful.
You're
I don't
not
want to talk about
lying.
football, but
You're
yeah.
not lying.
I will
Uh,
tell you that I don't know a whole lot about football, but I have to stick with the Philly team.
You have
You know.
to in the area.
Yeah.
We didn't have really a team. Kansas City, but we really wasn't. When we was growing up, Texas was below us, and there was a bunch of my buddies that become Cowboy fans. And there's like 5 or 6 of us. I just joined with them. And then, like I said, I've been through every season since '78, so I'm not one of the I jumped on the bandwagon kind of thing.
Right.
And I'm
Right.
not one of those crazy Cowboy fans that get online all the time either. I'm just kind of quiet. I enjoy my team. I watch every game. I cuss with 2 of my other friends who've been Cowboy fans forever too. But that's about all we do. Look, I
Yeah.
want to put
And
over something.
we're wrestling. We're wrestling. We're going against the Cowboys this week at home.
Yes, we are. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get slaughtered. So,
I
yeah,
don't know. I don't
Eagles, good
know.
team, good team. I
We
want to put
got
over
hurt.
something real quick before I forget it because
Go ahead.
I'll just we
Go
do a
ahead.
news show. We've done 3 times. It gets lots of views. I don't have lots of guests that show up, but it's called 5 Minute Time Limit. If you watch my feed, we put the link to StreamYard. You can do one of 2 things. You can come on. I'll let you talk for 5 minutes. You 2 ladies are invited. You will talk for 5 minutes, and then I ring the bell. You're out of there. And that's what we
Okay.
do. Or you can be part of the studio audience. You're welcome to come and sit and watch the show as we do it. Because as people don't know this, but we know this, anyone that's sitting in the underneath us can see what's going on and listen to the podcast. So they're part of the studio audience. And fun show. I've got a couple people that come on every time. Ed's been on twice, but they just come that we talk for 5 minutes or they promote their stuff. And it's really fun. We're doing it New Year's Day. We do it the first Tuesday of every month. We're doing it New Year's Day at 2 p.m. Central Time. So look at my feed. It'll be up there all weekend. And
Awesome.
come join us. It's fun. It's really fun to hear what people say in 5 minutes. Well, I could talk for 5 hours. Me and Carm have always been able to talk for 5 hours. But
Sure.
also, we have a lot of new stuff planned for the new year. Some different stuff, so it should be fun. And I want to put over I already said it, but look up USWA Retro. They're going through 1993, and I make special appearances on it. They've got 3 hosts. When one of the hosts is gone, I jump on there and do it. I'll be on for the next 3 weeks. Love the show. I was on the Christmas episode. The brand new Christmas episode's out.
Cool.
I want to tell you, Carm, I quit watching wrestling in 1993. I had got married. I owned my own restaurant. I sold all my wrestling tapes. I had no idea what was going on in wrestling, and I'm sitting here watching this show with them every week. As I sit down on Saturday morning and watch USWA from 1993, and there's so many people that that came through that I had no idea. And this is when the WWE starts coming through. Owen Hart, Bret Hart, Vince McMahon eventually make the very first heel interview that Vince ever done was on Memphis TV. So it's really a lot of fun.
Wow.
Join us. We do a Patreon. We don't have a lot of Patreon people, but y'all can do it. They're all uncut, whatever. Just go to stspod.club. And like I said, if there's anyone in this area, in the Philly area, that wants to sponsor me, any multiple businesses, I'll take all the sponsorship money can. I really would like to be at that event with y'all. I really would. It would be awesome to be able to Jeannie, I haven't met you in person that I know of. So I don't know. Maybe I have. I don't know.
No, you met her. You had to have met her because she was there in Memphis. I have pictures of her on the field with us.
Well, we've met. I never would. Like I said, I have my memory just gets
my
worse.
memories. Yeah, same. I'm convinced.
Oh, my memory's perfect. Are you kidding? I don't forget anything. Who are you again? Why are you on my show? What am I doing here?
Well, yeah, I feel that way when I walk into the kitchen and I go, why did I just come in here? Now, what am I supposed to be doing? So, yeah, I have a problem in just realize probably something that's happened in the last 10 years. Like I could remember if you start talking about something, I could talk about it, but I don't know if it came. Did we go to Memphis before this? You know what I'm saying? I can't put them in chronological order, the things that's happened, especially the wrestling business. I can't say, oh, in 1993, but there's people that can do that. They're just
wrestlers can do that.
Yeah, well, yeah, and then some of the
we were talking about that. Dominic DeNucci, for one, was amazing. I mean, other wrestlers can do that too, but he remembered the date, the time, the city, the state, the opponent, who was in the audience. I'm like, how the hell do you remember all that? And I was young back then. I mean, I didn't remember anything from when I was young. So, I mean, it's weird, but I guess because, especially from back then, they had to remember because there wasn't agents and bookers and or individual bookings and that kind of stuff. So they had to remember
I think it's
everything.
funny when fans come up. So I did a con 2 years ago or 3 years ago with one of the local Memphis guys, and we were sitting there at the con. He was signing autographs. I was giving my cards out. Somebody comes up to him and it says, do you remember me? Do you remember me? I was at Batesville, Arkansas, and you blah, 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 blah. He's like, yeah. He gives him a hug and everything. And then when they walk away, he says, I don't know who the hell that was.
Yeah, I know. I do that all the time. But wait a minute. Talking about trips, not to change the subject, but yes, to change the subject. Jeannie and I are contemplating strongly going to this year's Cauliflower Alley in Vegas. Have you ever been?
No, I haven't. Now, what month is that?
August.
Ooh, that's hot.
But I'll tell you what, we're going to have Rich Engling. He is the president, I think, right?
Yeah.
Of the Cauliflower Alley. I never knew exactly what Cauliflower Alley was. Dumb ass me. I thought it was an award show. Come to find out, it is to help wrestlers who are in need.
Yes,
and I think
it's
an amazing quest that this guy is on. He's done it for 1 million years. And when you go out there, like, not only do you, like, I wanted to go out there and actually get on the microphone and talk about, what we do, and maybe try to put together like a GoFundMe or something like that for the people of Cauliflower Alley. But we're going to have Rich on the show. All right. So maybe I'll let you know when that is.
Well, if I can't come to Jersey, what happens in Vegas? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And I just want y'all to know, I love Las Vegas. I absolutely love Las Vegas.
Well, I've never been. Man,
I've been twice.
Yeah. No, never have. But from what I understand, it's not too expensive to actually go there. And also, they have.
Well, yes, tourists. Yeah, people are wanting to go to Vegas, so there's a lot of the power of numbers kind of thing.
Right, and then they're going to have they have what's the name? A special rate for rooms too, for people who can stay overnight, obviously.
Well,
But
I was sleeping in the middle of y'all. I don't have to worry about the cost, dude. Come on now. Or y'all can
wait a
give me the.
minute. Wait a minute, man. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What you're saying is Jeannie and I are going to split a room and you're going to sleep in between
They
us and
are
not
on the
contribute to
floor. You
any
can
of it.
give me the floor, you know.
Well, then you have to treat us to dinner. You have to do something.
All right.
All right, we'll do that. But no, seriously, I want you to listen. I'll let you know when Rich is going to be
Let me
on.
know. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
and then,
excited.
yeah, we can get, maybe all three of us can get together and go.
I
I
was
know.
going to I thought about going, to a big show in Vegas, but with the one thing I don't like about WWE right now is, but as a businessman, I'm like, do what you can. Is the cost of tickets. I
Yeah,
do, and I don't go to concerts. Well, never have being a huge concert goer, but will not go to concerts for that very reason. Is that the tickets are just, and COVID did that because everyone sat at home, and now they'll pay anything to see anybody. So I don't
yeah,
pay for tickets, and I think it's my dad used to have this saying. He said, I wouldn't walk across the street to see them live. And it's kind of way I feel because, and I think like you hung around so many people in the wrestling business. And I always see the Undertaker on TV and think, and Paul Heyman and these guys that I knew that are on TV every week, or they're,
hmm,
they're retired, whatever. And I'm just like, there's I've never been starstruck, and I think it's because of them. Was I starstruck the first time Lawler brought me into the dressing room? Sure, yeah. I kept my mouth shut, and him and Dundee and Rocky John, people that I grew up watching. Um, I always say that when I first started hanging around these guys, it was like, Gilligan's Island was on, and we watched Gilligan's Island almost every day. But it was like I was hanging out with the characters of Gilligan's Island because
yeah,
TV5 was so popular. There were so many people watching it that these guys were stars, kind of thing.
hmm,
But
exactly.
I think that's killed me. There's nobody that I'm in awe of. At one time, I might have said Vince McMahon, but uh, that may be the only. I don't know anyone that I'd be nervous to meet, kind of thing. So I guess
No,
it's
I think like I said before, like there's wrestlers who I absolutely love. Um, like I like their gimmick, or I like how they wrestle, or I like a lot of stuff about them. But um, no, I don't think I'm in awe of any wrestlers. None, except maybe Manny Fernandez. I love him. We're gonna get to meet him in May. Have you ever met him, Brian?
I have not met many, but I did. I just want to tell you, I really, honestly loved that show that y'all did with him. Just
He
He's so
is. I'm
good.
going to have him back. We're definitely going to have him back. But it's
Yeah.
funny because I send him the show every week, and I think we talk about him sometimes more than we talk about the people who are on the show. But he is so. His reputation is unbelievable as being
Mhm.
this raging maniac, bull, whatever. But to talk to him, he is the most humble and modest person. Like it's amazing. And it's funny because every time I send him a show, like he'll comment. Like he's the one time, I don't know if I told you, Jeannie, he said to tell you to feel better.
Aw.
He comments about things that we're talking about. He actually listens. But we're going to have to cut this short today. Brian's going again. We're going to wait till he comes back on. Brian has an engagement he has to be at.
Yes.
Jeannie's still not feeling well. Jeannie had to have uh, kidney stone surgery on Christmas Eve, and therefore was admitted into the hospital from being very sick and was not able to make Christmas dinner, which broke my heart. To be honest
Mine
with
too.
you, what?
Mine too.
Oh
I
yeah,
was so
crazy.
upset, but I was just there was
Yeah. And to be
I just
honest with you,
couldn't.
for some reason, I'm not feeling that great today myself. We actually had to pause the show once already. This rain is kicking my butt. It's going to rain. Let me bring Brian back on again real quick. Um,
my
whenever it
computer just
rains.
my computer decided that it was going to start trying to update. So I'm sorry, ladies.
Oh
I
no, no, that's all
apologize
right.
for
Because
that.
we're
Nice.
just closing out anyway. That's
All
why we
right,
wanted to
good
wait for you to
deal.
come back.
I want to thank
Um,
y'all very much for having me again. I'll try. We need to try to do this every other month or every two
Oh,
months or something.
definitely. You know
Uh,
why? And we need to be on not so much of a time constraint because I was just explaining that you have an engagement you have to be at tonight. Jeannie and I, for some reason, or we know, but for some reason I don't feel good. So we're gonna just do an hour tonight. We have a lot to talk about though, so we want everybody to keep listening because Brian, you're going to come back, and we have so many people. We're booked right now. Thank you, God. We're booked right now till the end of February.
Awesome,
So,
awesome.
yeah,
I
so
love
we're
that. I love
very
that.
excited about it. But everybody, please enjoy yourselves. Have a great night. Happy New Year!
Happy
Because the
New
next time,
Belated
Year.
Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy New
Yep.
Year,
Yes.
especially to Debbie. Happy New Year, Debbie.
oh, thank you, Debbie, for fall
Debbie.
over herself. Let me tell you. But pray to God that 2025 is better for everybody.
Yes.
I hope everybody has better health, better finances, better good things happening, and more friendships and more camaraderie, because I think that's so important. So to everybody, I love you. Thank you so much for being here, Brian. Jeannie, feel better.
You too.
I know.
Thanks.
Thank you. I know this has been a little bit of a tough night, but
Yeah.
thank you both so much, and I love you guys. And we'll
Love
see you
you.
next year. How about that?
Love y'all.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next
If we
year.
see each
Bye.
other, it'll be next
That's
year.
it.
Thanks a
Yep.
lot,
Yep.
y'all.
Love you. All right. Take care. Everybody will be in touch.